What's My Line? Brought to you by Geritol, the high-potency vitamin iron-rich tonic in liquid or tablets to help you feel stronger. And now, let's all play What's My Line? And now, from New York City, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Now, a very funny comedian, Mr. Shelley Berman.
And now a very charming lady who will be opening this Tuesday night in Louisville, Kentucky, in old acquaintance, Miss Arlene Francis.
And while I'm opening there, you're going to be opening at the Crescendo in Los Angeles.
Next week, thank you.
Have a good time. And now, our lovely publisher panelist. Publisher of Random House, but author in his own right of a very funny book called Riddle Dee Dee. Here he is, Mr. D.D. Bennett, Cerf.
And here is South Africa's gift to the loftier realms of television, our dapper panel moderator, John Charles Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's My Line. Shelley Berman, nice to see you again on the panel, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
And commuting from coast to coast must be a little bit hard on you, but we trust we give you a half hour of relaxation. We have some very interesting occupations tonight, and we will also have a famous mystery challenger before my friends on the panel. A little bit later in the program, we'll meet our first challenger. And now to meet our first challenger, will you enter and sign in, please? John D. Rockefeller. Wow. Very nice of you, Mr. Rockefeller, to take time out from counting money to come and see us.
It's my pleasure.
Are you related to the Rockefeller family of New York?
The New York Rockefellers are not related to us, sir.
Are not related to you. Where are you from, then?
Philadelphia.
From Philadelphia. Nice to have you with us. May I present our panel? Mr. Rockefeller, will you join me over here, please? You know how we keep score on What's My Line?
Yes, I do.
Fine, then we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Rockefeller is salaried and deals in a product. And let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Well, Mr. Rockefeller, is it a product that I might use?
Yes, indeed.
Is it a useful product?
Yes.
Is it used by both men and women?
Yes, it is.
Is it ever found indoors?
Yes.
Would it be found in a home?
Yes.
Would it be found, would it be seen if it were in the home?
Yes.
Is it in any way decorative?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Rockefeller, then I suppose we can presume that it's useful.
It is indeed.
Can we rule out food and drink?
No.
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 2 down
We
and
cannot
8 to
rule
go.
out.
Miss Kilgallen.
Then, Mr. Rockefeller, do you have something to do with food or drink?
Yes, indeed.
Very good.
Is it food?
No.
Very bad. 3 down and 7 to go. Shelley Berman.
I'll bet you have something to do with drink.
Yes.
This is what we call our sparkling
Now,
pen.
is this may I ask if you would find this liquid that you deal with, would you find it ever in an ice box or refrigerator?
Yes.
Would it be essential to drink this drink cold, to enjoy it to its fullest?
No.
Not if you're British.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, there's one thing I hate, it's hot beer.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to rise above it and not talk about beer. Is it in the wine family?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Cerf.
I'm going to stoop down where Arlene refused to stoop. Is it in the beer family?
No, it is not.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Kilgallen.
Does it, Mr. Rockefeller, have any alcoholic content whatsoever?
None whatsoever.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Berman.
Would you drink this drink warm?
You could.
You could. Or if you would, at room temperature, would that be its best?
Well, I would say here, this is hard to exactly define, Shelley. I think a great many people would say that it was at its best at room temperature. Others would require that, to some degree, it be refrigerated. It would be a matter of taste.
I see. Well, if I had a bathtub full of this, would I enjoy getting into it?
Yes, indeed.
Would I keep this in the bathroom?
No.
That makes it 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
He'd probably keep it in the bathroom if he were Cleopatra. Does it have anything to do with something that comes from cows?
No.
9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Rockefeller, is something that comes from cows ever poured into this drink?
No. Not to my
milk
knowledge.
is never added to this drink? Milk or cream?
I don't think so, Bennett. No, we're going to have to get... It might happen, but it would be an outrageous occurrence.
It's not coffee.
This is not to be believed. What is it?
Well, it's something like ginger ale or soda water or...
Well, how about just plain
No
old
cow.
bottled water? Would you like that?
Just plain old what? Water? Just water?
Bottled water. And I've
Bottled
been...
spring water, yeah. Actually, Mr. Rockefeller is with the Great Bear Spring Company.
That's correct.
And they sell bottled water all through the East. You know, you've seen it in offices and homes, particularly in those areas where water pollution has begun to catch up with the community and the water tastes rotten because of the chemicals in it. They have bottled water in the home. And we puzzled them with a real doozer,
I'm very happy we did.
Arlene doesn't even clean her teeth with water. She uses a light Sauterne.
Well, Mr.
I've never heard of water. I don't know what it's... What the...
Well, I felt sure when you got to the bathtub that your next question would be milk, but you passed that one anyway, Shelley, and thank you for that. Mr. Rockefeller, thank you very much for coming in with an occupation that puzzled our panel.
Thank you.
Glad you're with us. And now to meet our second challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Darlene McCabe. Is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs. McCabe?
Mrs. McCabe.
And where are you from, Mrs. McCabe?
Beaverton, Oregon.
Beaverton, Oregon?
Yes.
Nice to have you with us. Mrs. McCabe, may I present our panel? Now, would you join me over here, please? Do you know how we keep score?
Yes.
Fine. We'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mrs. McCabe is salaried and deals in a service. And let's begin the questioning with Shelley Berman.
Miss McCabe, would I employ your services?
No, you wouldn't.
That's quite an answer.
That's 1 down and 9 to go. Now, we're saying here specifically, Shirley, we can assume that you would not be employing the service. This does not rule out that, for instance, men could employ the services, but entirely, but this is another question to be asked. Miss Francis?
Well, would human beings use your services, Mrs. McCabe?
Yes.
Usually women?
Yes.
Is it possible that I might?
Yes, you might.
Under the proper set of circumstances, yes. Now, this merely suggests that we don't want you to think that in your natural habitat and in your natural occupation, it would be reasonable at this moment that you might, but under another set of circumstances, then you might.
Oh.
What did he say over there? I don't understand.
Is it better to be married in order to have your services?
No.
No. I don't think it has any effect. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
But you know what I had in mind.
Mrs. McCabe, do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes, I do.
Is it located in Oregon?
Yes, it is.
What part of Oregon is Beaverton in? Would you tell me?
It's just 10 miles
Outside of Portland?
outside of Portland.
Do you work indoors, Mrs. McKay?
Yes, I do.
Do you have anything to do with the manufacture or sale of the product that you're involved in?
No, I don't.
And it's basically a service, Bennett. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you work indoors?
Yes.
Is it in something other than a mere office?
Yes, it is.
Is it a room where there are other people?
Yes,
Are these people ever children?
sometimes.
Do you ever give them any advice or counsel?
The people who were in the room with Mrs. McCabe, you mean? Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
Could you be said to teach in any way?
yes.
Are you a school teacher?
No, I'm not.
No. 4 down and 6 to go, Shelley Berman.
Do you instruct then in a specific field?
Yes, I do.
Is it a field which is a trade or a profession? Can I say a trade or a profession?
Well, we would say no. It's not a trade, and though it might, in its highest degrees of excellence, subsequently be considered broadly to be encompassed by the word profession, the people who
Listen,
would take
I'll
this
just take no
instruction
for an
are
answer.
not-
It's all right.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Preston.
Might you ever, in pursuing this work, touch the people that you are instructing?
Yes, I might.
Would there be an action on the part of the person that would be physical in the instruction?
Yes.
Would one wear something other than a street dress when one is having this instruction?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mrs. McCabe, might this instruction that you give lead to, later on, if sufficient proficiency were attained by the student, to some kind of a career in the entertainment industry?
No.
Small conference.
A small conference.
Yeah, so. Bennett, actually, we're going to change that answer to yes. If a very high degree of proficiency were ultimately achieved, it is possible that what you indicate would happen.
Does what you teach, Mrs. McCabe, require the use of some kind of an object while the service is being performed?
Yes, it does.
Is a certain amount of physical dexterity necessary to perform this service properly?
Yes.
Are the hands used more than the feet in the performance of this thing?
Yes.
When the hands are used, they use some object.
Yes.
Is it in the nature of a game?
Yes, it is.
Is it a game that can be played by one person alone?
It could be.
It could be, Bennett. We'd give you a yes on that. It's
But it's a
unlikely.
lonely kind of
No,
work.
it would be very lonely
But
if you
usually it's played by more than one person.
Yes.
Is a ball of any kind used in this game?
Yes.
Is it a smaller ball than a tennis ball?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Is it a smaller ball than a tennis ball?
No.
Oh, good.
I was thinking of ping pong.
Well, that's fine. Glad you
that's
said
all.
that, Bennett. That's 7 down and 3 to go. That got me off a nice little hook.
Got off your
I was
hook.
thinking of golf, but I just stopped thinking about it. The ball is as large as a tennis ball?
Well, let me say this, that I think that certainly Mrs. McCabe would be much more expert. I would think that the average person might consider here that the ball could either be a little bit smaller or the same size or perhaps a little bit bigger.
Is it anything like a baseball?
A baseball. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Berman.
Before we lose out to that, we have a conference.
You may have a 15-second count.
Shelley, I think pool or billiards might be working.
Well, yeah.
Those have small...
They're easier to hit if it's a...
Find out whether it's a hard ball.
all right, I'll find out that. I'm desperate. Is it a hard ball?
Yes.
Oh. Now, if I threw this ball at somebody, could I hurt him pretty badly if he wasn't looking?
I would think you could.
Yes. Now, would this ball ever be found on a table of any kind?
Yes, it would.
Do you instruct billiards or pool?
Yes.
Yes, that does it. Promotion Billiard Parlor in Beaverton.
That's
right. And you can go, if you're in Beaverton, any one of you, and get instruction. That's why I was saying, Arlene, you'd have to have a different set of circumstances before you could get the benefit. Mostly the women, I think.
Yes.
Very rarely?
Exclusively women.
Exclusively women. You never teach men. Well, we very nearly stumped the panel, and I think you and I will both agree that they're to be congratulated for digging that one out. We thought that would puzzle you, and it didn't. And thank you very much for being our guest on What's My Line. We'll meet the mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from us. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery challenger, for which the panel, as always, is blindfolded. Blindfolds in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes.
Good, good. Will you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Bennett, sir.
May we presume that your name would be more apt to appear in the columns of Variety than the Wall Street Journal? What? I didn't hear.
Miss Kilgallen?
I would have sworn you said Mr. Challenger, but I guess you didn't, John. Are you an actor, a performer?
Mr. Berman?
That's a man talking there? Now, if you are an actor, are you in the movies?
So I would say basically no, right? 1 down, 9 to go, Miss Francis.
The audience was laughing quite a lot. Would you be considered a comedian?
Mr. Cerf?
Do you appear with some degree of regularity on television? Well, I can't hear.
Yes, some. That was some degree. Miss Kilgallen?
Have I ever spoken to you on the phone when you were in Las Vegas?
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Berman.
Do you perform as part of a team sometimes?
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
She sure sounds like a stand-in for Minnie Mouse. Do you ever appear in nightclubs?
Mr. Cerf?
When you appear in nightclubs, is your principal contribution bursting into song?
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen. No.
Do you frequently wear wigs and diamond bracelets?
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Berman.
Is your hair very bright blonde?
Do you know
Got somebody in mind? Say it.
I think it's Phyllis Diller.
You think right. Now, you see, actually, what has happened here, Phyllis didn't think she could possibly disguise her voice, so she was going to just whistle once for yes and twice for no, but tried to disguise it and got away with it for some time, too.
It was marvelous. I feel I'd know your voice anywhere.
Well, I felt you would. In fact, I was afraid you might even send
I was
something
going
as
to
I
use
walked
your line, Phyllis, where you describe you say that isn't hair, it's nerve ends.
And actually, you're going to open the Blue Angel next week, is it?
Well, I close tomorrow night.
Ah, good, Will. I got that. I want you to see our new floor covering, which Phyllis left for us.
As you came in?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, isn't it lovely?
That's where the gasp came from, when you heard the gasp. That was me. It's a beautiful coat, and don't bother to pick it up, because I'll take care of it.
I think it's nice that it hasn't moved.
And thank you very much, Phyllis, for coming to join us in What's My Line.
John would never do this.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
so far, panel, and we'll have another contestant after this word from our alternate. Now to meet our final contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Gino Palucci. Is that right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Palucci, where are you from, sir?
Duluth, Minnesota.
Duluth, Minnesota.
Yes.
May I present our panel?
How do you do?
Will you join me over here? Do you know how we keep score, Mr. Palucci?
Yes, I do.
Fine, then we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, Mr. Palucci is self-employed and deals in a product. And let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Palucci, could I use your product?
Yes.
Could I hold it in my hand?
Yes.
Would I keep it in my house if I had it?
I hope so.
Would it ever get anywhere near the kitchen?
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with food or drink?
Yes.
Is it food this time?
Yes.
Is it food that comes packaged when it gets to me?
Yes.
Is it in a box rather than in a can?
Could be, yes.
It could be in a box. Could be in something else, obviously.
Yes.
You hesitated. What else is there? I'm not very big at supermarkets. Could it come just wrapped in that sort of cellophane stuff?
No.
No, that's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Berman.
The implication that I got, and I'd like to know if I'm correct, was that it is more properly housed in a can. Is that you'd expect to see it more in a can? Am I correct?
I would
in
say
assuming
here,
that?
Shelley, we would say yes and no. In other words, what we're conveying is it could come packaged dry or it could come in a can.
Can I ask then if this is a meat product?
Some of it, yes.
Beg your pardon?
Yes. Could be.
It could be a meat product. Oh, it could also be another type of product.
Yes.
Yes.
But it is a food product.
Yes.
Yes.
Is this food product a frozen food product?
Part of it, yes.
It could
The
be.
rest of it is melted. Is that right? Some part of this food, part of the food products you deal with then are frozen food products.
Yes.
But there are others that you deal with that aren't frozen food products.
Yes.
Right? Would you be dealing with a very quick, say a quick dinner of some
Yes.
type? Would it be a TV dinner?
Some of them, yes.
Could be.
You do an awful lot, sir, and I'm trying to pin you down. It would be some of that would be the whole dinner together, right?
Yes.
And it's well, I passed. That's all. I just
Arlene?
that's all I'm saying.
But you did so well. Does it have any kind of an Italian name? Like a pizza dinner?
No.
So, 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Palucci, is there any fish in this product? No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
But when you say it could be meat, is there also a possibility of vegetables being
Yes.
involved? Is this a frozen dinner of some time, whether you watch it in front of TV or not?
It could be. It could be.
It could
We've
be.
run out of time, and I want to be sure to have a moment to relish it when I identify the food. Actually, Mr. Palucci makes Chinese food. The Chung King, is it not?
Chung King.
Chung King. The Chung King Corporation of Duluth, Minnesota. And if you will remember your magazines, you've seen big ads for it, Mr. Palucci's company. He started it himself and made it grow, and congratulations
Thank
on
you
your
very
success.
much.
Nice to have you with us. Actually, it's a wonderful story because Mr. Palucci started as a grocery salesman, built his own company, and I'm afraid I've used up all the time tonight. With the panel's permission, I will therefore say good night for all. And again, Shelley, nice to have you here, and good commute to Los Angeles. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line?
What's My Line is a CBS television network production in association with Mark Goodson and Bill Thompson. This is Johnny Olson speaking. The program was pre-recorded.